I really want so bad to love Kowabe, but he won't let me love him. He really just won't. Side note, if your name is Greg and you commented on my seven reading seven books to distract myself from the horrors of living video, I was trying to respond to your comment, but every time I clicked to respond, the comment would disappear. Not sure what that's about. So first off, thank you. I hope you're watching this. And to answer your question, I have started reading W.G. Sebald. I have the Rings of Saturn on my shelf and started it last year. Ended up getting distracted, even though I was really enjoying it, and actually was just been recently thinking about putting it back up on my TBR so I could actually finish it. I added Austerlitz to my TBR. Also, thank you for mentioning Ishmael Reed, because I had not heard about him before your comment, and I was looking him up, reading about his life, and Mumbo Jumbo sounds amazing, which has also been added to my TBR. So thank you so much for all those awesome recommendations, and sorry I couldn't reply to your comments. Anyway, what's up, suckers? Welcome back to Loser's Library. Today, I'm going to be unhauling books that don't spark joy. It is a true dream of mine to one day be the proud owner of a huge, beautiful, sprawling library with hundreds, maybe even thousands of books, and they'll be wall to wall to wall to wall to wall to wall, and I'm gonna have one of those ladders that Belle has in Beauty and the Beast, and I'm just going to be gliding from book to book and bookshelf to bookshelf. Unfortunately, it's not in the works for this year. I have a very small room. I have 3 shelves. All of them are full to their limit. I just bought a new one 2 months ago too. I don't have the capacity, unfortunately. But it's okay. My sister, I'm in my sister's room right now, so it's not in my room. But she also has like 3 bookshelves that are full. Like, I have access to a lot of books, and unfortunately I just can't be keeping them all. A new bookstore also opened up literally like right across the street from where I work, and it's so close I can walk there in like 2 minutes. So the temptation, I've already bought like 6 books from there, so I'm already like, there's so many books on my radar and so many books on my TBR and just so many books in my life that I can't really afford to hang on to the ones that don't bring me joy. So today I'm going to be getting rid of books that have been on my shelves for too long, books that I have read and didn't like, books that I have duplicates of, maybe a little bit of everything. I think I have about 20 books to unhaul. That's really not that many. I'm surprised I even found that many to unhaul to begin with, honestly. And I hope none of your, all-time faves are on this list. And if they are, sorry, variety is the spice of life. And I love that there's so many different genres and different literary tastes. So everybody do you. Let's just start. Okay, so the first book I'm going to be unhauling is the New York Trilogy by Paul Auster. Now, this is like existential detective crime fiction, which is a very unique genre in itself. And I think, to be point blank period transparent here, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I think this is one of those books I just held out onto just because it was so highly like praised. I wanted to be one of the people who got it, but I just wasn't. This is a collection of the trilogy. It consists basically of like 3 novellas that are, like I said, are like this existential like mystery type of things, which kind of does sound right up my alley, but ended up not being. I thought City of Glass was the best out of the 3, even though I thought the end was kind of a cop-out. I don't know. I think maybe I just went into this with the wrong idea because I wanted closure, and you're not going to get it with existential fiction, right? So it was just, like I said, like I didn't understand it. Maybe I can revisit it sometime in the future, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon. So I'm going to be getting rid of the New York Trilogy. Next book that I'm going to be getting rid of, I honestly just can't justify having on my shelves any longer, and that is Finnegan's Wake. Y'all gotta be lying. Nobody has read this and understood it. There's just no way. There's no way. I just started reading it. You know what? I think The most accessible of Joyce's work is going to be A Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man. I have that on my shelf, so I will, and I have like his short stories, I think. I have a collection of short stories too. So I'll join him when I want to join the Joyce party. I don't even know if I could ever tackle Ulysses. And I know for sure, I am gone. I opened it. There's no way anybody understands what he's saying. You're lying. You're lying. Right, I'm going to be unhauling this short story collection. Everything Here is the Best Thing Ever by Justin Taylor. I talked about this in one of my videos. The characters were super bland. The stories were super bland. I didn't like it. And I read 5 short stories. I usually do like to finish books, even if I'm not super enjoying them. Like, I don't DNF that often. I do DNF, but I don't do it that often. And I read 5 of these stories and I just knew I was done. Sorry, Justin. So the cover is pretty though, so good job on that. I have Hunger by Knut Hamsun. I think for the most part, these books, I'm going to put them in my garage and then take them out next time me and my sister go on like a little library tour in my city. I think this one I'm just gonna throw in the trash. Found out he was a Nazi, and I can't be bothered. I don't care how revolutionary he was in any genre or as a writer or anything. Like, I literally cannot care any less. I will probably, I'll just be throwing that in the trash. I don't know, maybe we can have a whole artist versus art debate in the comments, but for me, it's pretty clear. I'm going to be unhauling The Hours by Michael Cunningham. This won the Pulitzer. I do not understand why this won the Pulitzer. I didn't get it. Should I have read Mrs. Dalloway? Was that the downfall? Like, should I have read Mrs. Dalloway before I read this? Because I think before I picked it up, I looked up, like, should I read Mrs. Dalloway first to get, like, a better, like, taste for what's going on? And I think a lot of people were like, no, you don't have to. Maybe that was a mistake on my part, but I thought this was so boring. Like, I can't really put it any simpler or clearer than that. Like, it was just so boring. Sorry if you love this book. Didn't get it. Not for me. And like I said, that's okay. The next book I'm going to be unhauling is The Vegetarian by Han Kang. I clearly did not know what this book was about, like the full extent of it when I picked it up. My understanding was it was about a woman who had nightmares about animals and then decided to stop eating meat, and then like weird stuff starts happening in her life. Like, that's kind of the extent of what I understood about what this book was about. Recently saw somebody talking about it on Bookstagram, and I realized I kind of didn't know what I pick up. I guess this is like horror. Is it horror fiction slash like erotica? I don't know what's going on. I don't read horror, don't read sexually explicit books. I will be moving on with my life. I kind of don't know what's going on with this book, and I kind of don't really want to know, so I'm gonna be just keeping it moving. I'm unhauling Becoming by Michelle Obama. I got this as a gift from my aunt. Thank you, Auntie Bear. It's been on my shelves for a while now, and just for how many books that I have on my TBR, how many authors that I really want to read and fit into my reading schedule, she's just not a priority. And I'm like, to be completely transparent and honest, I'm not like super interested in the Obamas. I'm just not. So I think I'm gonna have to keep it moving. I have the interactive journal. Maybe I'll do that when I feel like writing or self-discovery or something. Sorry, Auntie Bear, if you're watching this. I'm finally getting rid of Will You Please Be Quiet Please by Raymond Carver. I have held on to this for way too long. I've held on to this. I think for multiple reasons. One is like, again, it's like a highly praised book, and I wanted so desperately to be somebody who got Raymond Carver, but I just am not. I don't like his writing. I don't like his characters. I don't find them relatable really in any form. I think another reason I held on to this is because this copies, also annotated, and I just felt like a kinship to this other like a college student or something who had written all her like notes and thoughts in the margins, which I kind of related to on a lot of levels. So I kept it for that reason, but I think it's finally time for me to move on. I think I have one other Carver collection on my shelf somewhere, so I don't think Carver's done forever, but this book, I think it's just, we're done. This one's a recent buy, so it kind of hurts a little bit that I have to unhaul it, but I'm unhauling Kobo Abe's The Arc Sakura. I really want so bad to love Kobo Abe, but he won't let me love him. He really just won't. I thought The Woman in the Dunes was okay, like good, but like there were some problems in it. And now reading this, I remember exactly what those problems were. And the problem is him and women. He doesn't like women. I just want to know who it was. What woman, what girl, like rejected his promposal and sent him into a spiral, because it's just so hard to overlook the way he speaks about women, and it ruins everything. He just like casual misogyny throughout the whole. Kobo, I gotta keep it moving. Apparently Kobo Abe was or Haruki Murakami was like extremely influenced by Abe, which is interesting. I have Murakami on my shelves. I read The Wind-Up Bird. I'm gonna have to do a whole video about. I really didn't like The Wind-Up Bird Chronicles, and I felt very cheated out by the whole thing. And I'm having a hard time with Kobo Abe now, and maybe that's why I didn't like Haruki Murakami so much. I don't know. I will be reading more Murakami, but I don't know if I'm going to read more Abe after my second book and having to deal with all his misogyny. Anyway, this one also pains me, y'all. It's The Year of the Flood by Margaret Atwood. Look how beautiful this UK edition is. Like, please look at this. That's the reason why it's been on my shelves. This is the second book in the Mad Adam trilogy by Margaret Atwood. Oryx Crake, like Loki, blew my mind. This one really was just a hard miss for me. Was not into it. I don't even know if I want to continue the series. I mean, if there's only one more book. Has anyone read Mad Adam? Is it worth it? These are not like super chronologically, they're all like tied together. They're kind of like contained stories, I think, for the most part. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't know, just reading this one kind of put me off from even finishing the trilogy. Is Mad Adam worth it? I don't know. Somebody let me know. Anybody read it? But I'm gonna have to say goodbye to this beautiful copy. I've had it on my shelves for a while. You know, I got to look at it. So I'm gonna be unhauling Exile's Gate by CJ Cherryh. I have 2 copies of this, and I should honestly be unhauling the other copy as well. It was the 4th one in a quartet that was written 10 years after the original trilogy that just didn't really hit that hard as the original trilogy did. The Vanier, you know, and what's her name, Morgaine series. It's like a sci-fi based on these like time travelers. Really loved the first 3. Thought the second one was just too much of a difference in tone, which it obviously would have been when it's written 10 years later. So that was like the main problem for me. So I just got to keep moving. I should probably get rid of the other one because I don't think I'm going to read it, but I'm not. Type Talk. This was written in the 80s. I'm not even so sure why I picked this up. This is like based on it's like a deep dive into the 16 personalities. I was never even super into the 16 personalities. I'm not 100% sure why this is on my shelves, but the internet exists. So anytime I want information about that, I think I'll go to that, which will have more updated information anyway than this book written in the 80s. I'm unhauling On the Beach by Neville Shute. I bought another copy that was prettier. I really can't afford to be doing stuff like that, but I do it anyway. I'm unhauling The Tattoo Artist by Jill Cement. This is about like a very pretentious art couple who's part of the art world who goes to this like remote island where the islanders are known for this very like intricate type of art, and they're going to study them / do a report on them, something like that. The boat that drops them off never ends up coming back to pick them up, and they're stuck on this island. Interesting premise. too short for the type of characters that she was putting on the table, if you know what I'm saying. They were very pretentious and hard to like, and then when you give me this much time with them, I just couldn't get behind it. Kind of forgettable and irritating, but the prose was really good, so I feel like that's why I held on to it. She's a good writer. I don't even know if she's written anything else, but I will potentially look into more of that, of anything else she's written. How do I say his last names? This is the first two in the Web Shifters, like sci-fi series about this type of alien that can like assimilate to different life forms, by Julie E. Zernanda. I never picked these up myself. My sister did. She read the first one, really didn't like it, and then passed both of these off to me and said, like, if you want these, you can have them. And I was like, yeah, sure. But now I just have so much like sci-fi on my TBR. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit these in. So I'm gonna pass them on to somebody who is gonna like this. And I'm gonna kind of just take my sister's word for it that I'm probably not gonna like it anyway. I'm unhauling Bangkok 8 by John Burdett. I'm not 100% sure where I got this. This seems to be some type of like crime fiction, which is already not something that's like super high on my TBR or like a genre that I'm super into. It's described as sexy and exotic on the back cover, which kind of irritates me. It's a white guy writing about like Thailand, I don't know, Bangkok, you know, crazy. And you know, I was like, no, don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know, this could be really amazing journey. So I just opened it and started reading it, and the first sentence is the black character dying. Like, I'm not joking. It's just like the black guy dies basically. And I said, not during Black History Month, you don't. No, you don't. Only a couple more. I'm unhauling If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. I read this last month, was pretty disappointed. I thought this was going to be like a hard-hitting piece of fiction exploring like the toxic beauty culture of South Korea and the suicide rate and the parasocial relationships with these hyper-pop celebrities. And it wasn't. It was multiple POVs that were very weak in my opinion, blurred together seamlessly, and had a very ambiguous ending, which I did not like for the style of story. So we're gonna keep it moving. And it has one of the most gorgeous, beautiful covers I've ever seen. Absolutely gorgeous, but I gotta keep it moving. I also read this one last month. If you want to see me rant about why I did not like Black Book by Matteo Ascari-Poor, you can find my January wrap-up video where I go off about why I did not like this. It's about a 22-year-old Black young man who finds himself in the very white-dominated space of tech startup companies, and I just thought it was poorly done. The characters were weak. The commentary was just surface level. It was just not for me. Okay, and the last book I'm unhauling is The Wind-Up Girl by Paolo Bacigalupi. I really wanted to like this book. It's kind of like this biopunk, steampunk genre, which I'd never really delved into, relating this dystopic future where like fossil fuels have run out and the government has a monopoly on food, and it just seemed really interesting. There's like these artificially grown race of humans. Like, does not sound all so cool. It fell flat. There was a lot of political turmoil subplots, which I did not find interesting. The women were, or the main woman, it was very like male gazy. It just this didn't work. It didn't work out. If you want a book that's similar in theme, Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood kind of explores a lot of the same things, but actually was good. Sorry. Okay, y'all. Those are all the books that I'm getting rid of. I'm so proud of myself that I even found that many to get rid of in the first place. And I will continue to like refine my shelves and, you know, keep this revolving door going until I have a huge sprawling library where I can put all of the books that I want. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. What am I reading right now? I just started Life a User's Manual by Georges Perec. I don't know how to say his name. I am so excited to get into it. I don't know why I picked such a big, long book during February to read because I wanted to prioritize some more Black authors for this month because it's Black History Month, and I wanted to have more like Black authors to spotlight. So I might kind of put that one on hold in lieu of a couple other books, including Bernie Mac's like autobiography, kind of. So we shall see. I hope you guys are having an okay week or an okay day or an okay life. And if not, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about you. I get it. And as always, happy reading, losers.